Hey everybody, it's Freak here, and the awesome rolling Jupiter-8. The third video that I'm going to record here, I'm just going to show the different things that we can do with VCO2 and VCO1, and how we can link them together, and what cross-modulation means, and oscillator sync, and all these lovely options we have here. Okay, so right now, before we get started, I'm going to make sure that we are really hearing both VCO1 and 2. So they're evenly mixed there, in our source mix. Alright. And I'll start with oscillator sync. Notice how this actually says VCO1 here. These little orange squares say VCO1, which means that it will be synced to VCO2's frequency, and this will help eliminate beats that happen in a waveform or a sound. And the reason why beats happen is because the two oscillators here will be out of phase with each other, so it won't line up real nice and neat, and you'll hear the beats from the different frequencies of the two waveforms not matching. Okay, so I'm going to play a sound. I'm just holding down a D sharp here, and I'm going to go ahead and sync these two together. And notice how I'm going to actually tune this VCO1 slightly away from VCO2, so we'll hear some pretty significant beats going on. So it won't sound very pleasing either, because it'll, the higher the frequency is as far as the beats go, the more unpleasing it is to listen to. It sounds like a out-of-tune piano, sort of, and it's just not matching up real nice. Alright, and to sync them together, this will force it to have no beats there. So we will hear some modulation going on, but it'll be much nicer to listen to. Okay, and we will hear at the lower frequencies, we will hear some, but it's not near as bad as it would be if it wasn't synced. So now I'm going to unsync this, play this very same note. It doesn't sound very pretty now. We can really hear them beating against each other. Alright, so we're actually syncing VCO2 to VCO1. Alright. I will unsync those two, so now I'm going to need to set my tuning back to a reasonable level here. I'm going to set it slightly off center to give me a little bit of motion going on in the sound. Okay. Alrighty, so we'll move on to our cross modulation here. And cross modulation is really intermodulation. So what we're going to have here is, because of this setting, right now it's at a low voltage setting on this potentiometer pretty much, or slider. So not much is going to happen obviously until I increase the voltage here that will engage this part of the circuit onto VCO2. Alright, so we'll start to hear some weird sounds here. It's going to be very kind of grainy sounding and not very pleasing either. And that's at a moderate setting, that's not even at the highest. So I'm going to actually go ahead and latch this so that we can have a continuous signal happening. So I'm going to latch a D. Here's cross modulation. And back down. Okay, that makes some very unusual distortions there. And the reason why we do have distortion is because of the extra non-musical summation and different components above and below the harmonic content. So this is our harmonic content, and this is just adding and subtracting the signal, so it just generates a bunch of weird kind of sideband type stuff. So it's kind of neat when you have that set. I'm going to set this to a high setting again. So it's very noisy. You can make bell patches by using this. So this is more FM-like. You can make similar sounds on the DX7 and DX9. Any of the DX FM synthesizers you can make that with. Okay. And Also, another thing, once we get back to VCO2, we are given the option of the range being normal or low frequency. If VCO2 equals the normal setting, which is on right now. Cross modulation, which is back here. Cross modulation of VCO1 will produce sidebands, just like I said before. I'm going to go ahead and play that one more time, turning the cross modulation up. This is at a normal setting. And that is a AC scale, probably the worst sounding one I've ever heard, but it shows our example here. Okay, and VCO2, if it's set for a low frequency, which is just going to be a popping sound because it's so low in pitch. Can you hear that? Let me just single out VCO2 real quick. This is such a low frequency. Yeah, here it is right here. We can actually see it on JP. It's an extremely low frequency, so it's not oscillating very fast at all, so it doesn't equal a pitch until it gets above a certain hertz and frequency range. Okay, so if it's setting to this setting right here at low frequency, cross mod will actually equal some LFO effects. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this on low frequency, this popping sound, and I'm going to latch it so that I can hold down the key without holding it down. Up goes our cross modulation and our frequency. We can start to notice that it's getting faster and faster until our frequency gets to be so fast that we hear a pitch. And now it's so slow that it doesn't equal a pitch anymore, it's just movement going on. Okay. Alright, so I unlatched that, and we have our pitch once again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set that back to normal. Alright, so hopefully this makes some sense. If it doesn't, I'm also going to be writing some annotations along with this video so that everything I say will be written as well for the best understanding possible. If anybody has any questions or wants to see any other kind of options on JP, just let me know and I'll be happy to make a video of the awesome Jupiter-8. Just beautiful as ever. So, thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.